Children, let me start with the first life process, nutrition. When we do anything, we are using up energy. Even when we are not doing any apparent activity, energy is needed to maintain a state of order in our body. So children, how do we get energy? Yes, we get energy from the food. The source of energy and materials is the food we eat. So what is mean by this nutrition? Obtaining nutrients from environment is called as nutrition. As you know, our food contains so many nutrients, isn't it? And that nutrients help our body to grow and develop. There are two types of nutrition: autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. Autotrophic mode of nutrition is shown by green plants and some bacteria. They use carbon dioxide, water, sunlight for the process of their food making, and they produce glucose, and this glucose will be stored in the form of starch in their body. So they are called as autotrophs. These autotrophs include green plants and some bacteria. But other organisms, they directly or indirectly depend on these autotrophs, and they show heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So that type of organisms are called as heterotrophs. Heterotrophs have enzymes in their body. What are enzymes? Enzymes are the biological catalysts. They speed up the rate of reaction. So these heterotrophs use enzymes for the process of nutrition. Thus, the heterotroph survival depends directly or indirectly on autotrophs. These heterotrophic organisms include animals and fungi. Look at the picture. This picture indicates the process of photosynthesis. Carbon and energy requirements of the autotrophic organisms are fulfilled by photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the process by which autotrophs take substances from outside and convert them into stored forms of energy. So children, which all substances are used by the autotrophs, that means the green plants? Yes, carbon dioxide, water, sunlight, and they can only prepare the food material in presence of chlorophyll. So chlorophyll is also essential for photosynthesis, and they prepare glucose, okay, and they release oxygen and some amount of water. So we can prepare a chemical equation for photosynthesis. The chemical equation of photosynthesis is 6CO2, that means 6 molecules of carbon dioxide plus 12 molecules of water H2O in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. It makes the product glucose C6H12O6 plus which gas is released in photosynthesis? Yes, it's oxygen. So 6 molecules of oxygen plus 6 molecules of water also released. So this is an important equation. So you should study the equation 6CO2 plus 12H2O in presence of chlorophyll and sunlight gives C6H12O6 plus 6O2 plus 6H2O. Now let us see what actually happens during the process of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis includes mainly 3 steps. In first step, light energy is absorbed by the green colored pigment chlorophyll present in the chloroplast. That means the absorption of light energy by the chlorophyll is the first step of photosynthesis. The second step is conversion of light energy to chemical energy and splitting of water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen. Photolysis means the splitting of water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen. And in the last step, reduction of carbon dioxide to carbohydrates is take place. So there are 3 steps in photosynthesis: absorption of light energy by chlorophyll, conversion of light energy into chemical energy, and splitting of water molecules. Then in third step, reduction of carbon dioxide to carbohydrates take place. But these steps need not take place one after the other immediately. For example, desert plants. They take up carbon dioxide at night and prepare an intermediate compound. And this intermediate compound is acted upon by the energy absorbed by the chlorophyll during the day. Water used in photosynthesis is taken up from the soil by the roots in terrestrial plants. Plants get carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. If you carefully observe a cross section of a leaf under the microscope, you will notice that some cells contain green dots, and these green dots are cell organelles and are called chloroplasts. And these chloroplasts contain chlorophyll. And this chlorophyll is very essential for the photosynthesis. Children, now let us study how the plant obtains carbon dioxide. You had studied about stomata in your previous classes, which are tiny pores present on the surface of the leaves. What are the functions of this stomata? Stomata performs 2 functions. First one is gaseous exchange and the second one is transpiration. It helps for transpiration. The massive amounts of gaseous exchange takes place in the leaves through these pores for the purpose of photosynthesis. But the gaseous exchange also takes place through the surface of stems, roots and leaves as well. Since large amounts of water can also be lost through these stomata, the plant closes these pores when it does not need carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. The opening and closing of the pore is a function of the guard cells. You can see guard cells in this picture. Stomata has 2 guard cells. So these guard cells have the closing and opening of these stomata. The guard cells swell when water flows into them, and that causes the stomatal pore to open. Similarly, the pore closes if the guard cells shrink. Children, this diagram is very important. So you should draw this diagram in your notebook and learn to draw this diagram. The second mode of nutrition is heterotrophic nutrition. In heterotrophic mode of nutrition, the animals directly or indirectly depends on autotrophs for their food. They can't make their food by their own. We know that each organism is adapted to its environment and the form of nutrition differs depending on the type and availability of food material as well as how it is obtained by the organism. Some organisms break down the food material outside the body and then absorb it. Some others take in whole material and break it down inside their bodies. Some other organisms derive nutrition from plants or animals without killing them. So we can broadly classify heterotrophs or heterotrophic mode of nutrition into three types. They are holozoic nutrition, saprophytic nutrition and parasitic nutrition. Holozoic nutrition means the organism feed by ingesting solid organic matter which then digested and absorbed into their bodies. That means the digestion takes place inside their bodies. Examples are humans and other animals. But what happens in the case of mushrooms? Yes, they feed on dead and decaying matter. Saprophytes include bacteria, fungi, which digest the food externally before the nutrients are absorbed. So these type of organisms are called as saprophytes and they show saprophytic mode of nutrition. The third type is parasites or parasitic mode of nutrition. Some organisms derive nutrition from plants or animals without killing them. This mode of strategy is used by a wide variety of organisms like ascuta, ticks, lice, leeches and tapeworms. So in which category and in which mode of nutrition does amoeba include? Amoeba is a unicellular organism and it has no shape. Amoeba shows holozoic heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Look at the picture. This diagram is very important. You should draw this diagram into your notebook and learn. So you can see pseudopodia here. What does mean by pseudopodia? Pseudopodia are the finger-like structures that help amoeba for the movement and for the capturing of its food. So in first step, amoeba is nearby its food particle. In second step, it encircles the food particle with the help of two adjacent pseudopodia and this pseudopodia forms a food vacuole and in the third step the food particle is inside the food vacuole and inside the food vacuole complex substances are broken down into simpler ones which then diffuse into the cytoplasm. And in the last step, the remaining undigested material is moved to the surface of the cell and thrown out. Children, this is paramecium. Paramecium is also a unicellular organism, but it has a definite shape. You can see a specific spot here and food is taken in at a specific spot and this food is moved to this spot by the movement of cilia. You can see hair-like outgrowths, cilia, which cover the entire surface of the cell. So, paramecium is also shows heterotrophic nutrition.